Introduction. The President took the salute. The minister says that for India's sake, people should leave their villages and move to the cities. He is a Harvard man. He wants speed and numbers. 500 million migrants, he thinks, would make a good business model. Not everybody likes the idea of their cities filling up with the poor. A judge in Mumbai called slum dwellers pickpockets of urban land. Another said, while ordering the bulldozing of unauthorized colonies, that people who could not afford it should not live in cities. When those who had been evicted went back to where they came from, they found their villages had disappeared under great dams and quarries. Their homes were occupied by hunger and policemen. The forests were filling up with armed guerrillas. War had migrated too, from the edges of India in Kashmir, Manipur, Nagaland to its heart. So, the people returned to the crowded city streets and pavements. They crammed into hovels on dusty construction sites, wondering which corner of this huge country was meant for them. The minister said that migrants to cities were mostly criminals and carried a kind of behavior which is unacceptable to modern cities. The middle class admired him for his forthrightness, for having the courage to call a spade a spade. The minister said he would set up more police stations, recruit more policemen, and put more police vehicles on the road to improve law and order. To make Delhi a world class city for the 2010 Commonwealth Games, laws were passed that made the poor vanish, like laundry stains. Street vendors disappeared, rickshaw pullers lost their licenses, small shops and businesses were shut down. Beggars were rounded up, tried by mobile magistrates in mobile courts, and dropped outside the city limits. The slums that remained were screened off with vinyl billboards that said, "Deliciously yours." New kinds of policemen patrolled the streets, better armed, better dressed, and trained not to scratch their privates in public, no matter how grave their provocation. There were cameras everywhere, recording everything. Two young criminals, carrying a kind of behavior which was unacceptable to modern cities, escaped the police dragnet and approached a woman sandwiched between her sunglasses and the leather sheets of her shiny car at a traffic crossing. Shamelessly, they demanded money. The woman was rich and kind. The criminals' heads were no higher than her car window. Their names were Rukmini and Kamli. Or maybe Mehrunisha and Shahabano. Who cares? The women gave them money and some motherly advice. 10 rupees to Kamli or Shahabano. Share it, she told them, and sped away when the lights changed. Rukmini and Kamli, or Mehrunisha and Shahavano, tore into each other like gladiators, like lifers in a prison yard. Each sleek car that flashed past them and almost crushed them carried the reflection of their battle, their fight to the finish on its shining door. Eventually, both girls disappeared without a trace, like thousands of children do in Delhi. The games were a success.